check in now, get a deeper dive now. What's happening on the NGX? And Muktar Mohammed, CEO Finance with Muktar, joins us to give us an overview of that. Muktar, good to have you join us. Good afternoon. Let's just drive in very quickly. What's driving the negative sentiments we're seeing right now on the NGX?
Well, it is largely driven by high cap stocks like Seplat and Paradel. And also the banking sector also is dragging the index down with market coming down from stock like Zenith Bank and also GTCO and even Access Bank. So it's what are driving I think like they're driven by large cap stock coming down.
Okay, so the nature of large cap stocks, are we talking about the banking stocks here? Are they one of the stocks that are driving the markets in the negative territory? Because we did see that CBN's new rules on holdcos last week, that came out last week, Thursday, and we know that the CBN's view is that they need stronger control over these holdcos to prevent financial risk and protect the depositors. But there's a legal concern here. Is CBN over-exceeding the powers given under BOFIA? Are they over-regulating beyond the legal boundaries?
They're over-regulating, if you ask me, because they are the one that told banks to have subsidiary and make that subsidiary into holdco. And they are coming back now to say, look, we have to regulate those holdcos. And remember that a lot of banks, when they find it very difficult to pay dividend through their banking subsidiary, normally pay through the holdco because of these challenges, regulatory challenges that they normally have. So definitely, if you look at that by what they are saying now, definitely, I mean, they are trying to extend their boundaries into steep and very strong, stringent management of the bank, which for me, I think is not good for the Nigeria economy, especially when you look at those portfolio investment that have driven the Nigerian economy to where it is today. It's not good for us. A lot of the people that invested in the bank, which the CBN attributed about 27%, came from foreign investment. It did not invest into just the bank. They're looking at the holdco as a structure. And some of them are looking at it in terms of the regulatory framework that some of these banks have to go through, but the holdco are a larger picture and a one-stop shop. So for me, yes, that is not really what is dragging the market. If you look at if you want to look at that, you would have seen that a bank like GTCO and even Stanbic is selling at midday trading at 1,170, should be going lower. But I think it's a regulatory framework that might go through judicial processes if it's not handled in time. But thank God it's a proposal, so hopefully the proposal will be dealt with and they should look at the concerns, especially from shareholders, not necessarily just from the banks themselves.
Okay, so come July the 9th, when stakeholders are going to be meeting with the CBN to discuss this, what do you think is going to be the outcome of this? What do you think will come out of this meeting?
I wish I have a crystal ball to see the outcome. I think what a lot of stakeholders will do, they will ask for time, because why the rush? I mean, why the rush? Just giving 10 days for an important thing like that. I think a lot of stakeholders will definitely ask for time to look at this document very well, to scrutinize it, to look at the legal framework, to look at how it works, and also to give the bank space to breathe, in case most of them might be thinking of exiting some of these holdco if it's becoming a hurdle. So there's a lot. I don't think 1 day is enough for them. Even 10 days is not enough. And sometimes we see that maybe the regulators know what we don't know. I don't see the rush in this. If you are saying, okay, we are looking at this for the next 3 months, for the next 6 months, then it will give us a lot of us more room to look at it critically. Because what it might mean that some banks may have to go to the market to raise more money, and that also will cause shareholder dilution, and that also could affect the market going forward. Remember that capital gain tax, I dragged the share at that time down by almost $1 trillion. This is another issue to watch closely. Otherwise, we could see the market losing the kind of momentum it has gained, especially through the banking recapitalization. I think there should not be a haste. We should look at it. But if you ask me, if we meet that, I don't think we should come out with a conclusion. Everybody should look at it and then look at the legality of it, and also look at how you can synergize that with the profile, which is the normal one that the banks are able to see how they can come together and then finding a common front on how to address this. But I think the time frame is too short.
Yeah, definitely. One of the concerns was that it was in conflict with the Bofia law already. So we just hope to see the outcome come July the 9th. Now, United Capital has bought a 5% stake in the NGX Group, which is the NGX, everyone knows, is the company that owns and runs the stock market in Nigeria. What does this mean for the stock market? Because this is like buying into the engine room of the stock market, don't you think?
I think, Will, you hit the nail on the head. And I'm sure United Capital have been very smart in the sense that you are looking at some of those big listings that will be coming onto the NGX, especially Dangote finally listing, and how that will boost the kind of revenue the NGX will have. And they are beginning to say, let us position ourselves. I think it's a good move. It's diversification. And that brings me back to this holding structure. Remember before now, United Capital came out of UBA, and they have United Capital come out from UBA, Potential Registrar, and also African Property. So we might also begin to see where banks will say, you know what, we might just begin to give shareholders from some of these holding companies and let the bank stand alone, that what UBA is doing. But good move from United Capital, and to see that green light. But again, the market has not responded positively to that yet. Hopefully, when more detail comes in. And don't forget that United Capital is not just partnering 5% stake in the NGX alone. They have been expanding their brand around Africa for a while. So it's a company to watch.
Definitely a company to watch. Big players back in the system that runs the market. Thank you so much, Muktar Mohammed, CEO Finance with Muktar, for your insights on Business Incorporated. Great to have you.
Thank you for having me, Will.